Hail, Lady Freya.
Hail Freya!
Goddess of love and war. If you can't fuck them, kill them. Freya's Day is the traditional day of marriage in our culture. The day of forgiveness, the day of hope, the day of sex, and the day of love. And today's story is about a wedding. The thunder god awoke. His hammer was missing. He immediately suspected Loki, the trickster, so he went to him and said, "My hammer has gone missing." Now Loki suspected the treachery of the Jotunar, for he would never dare to touch Mjolnir while Thor himself was sleeping. And so Loki, the trickster god Thor, son of Odin, went to Freya, and they asked her, "Lady Freya, may I borrow your feather cloak to investigate this mystery?" Freya said, Vanir priestess as she was, "The gods help each other in time of need, and I would give this cloak to you if it was made of silver or gold." And so Loki donned the feather cloak, the feathers whirled, and he flew up into the sky. He flew across mountains and valleys into the realm of Jotunheim. And sitting on the mountain, Loki spied the king of the trolls, Thrym, forging golden links for his hounds. The feathers whirled and Loki sat down beside Thrym. Thrym spoke, for he recognized the son of Laufey immediately. "How fares the elves of Alfheim? And how fares the gods of Asgard?" Loki said, "Do not speak of Alfheim, but Asgard is in turmoil, for Mjolnir has gone missing. Would you know anything of this?" Thrym laughed as he forged his golden links. "Yes, Loki, son of Laufey, I have stolen Mjolnir. I have buried it 8 leagues beyond the earth. You will never find it. But I would release it back to the gods of Asgard. If you will grant me one request." Loki said, "Of course. Do you request, Thrym, king of giants, the hand in marriage of Freya, Volur, priestess of the Vanir and goddess of love, for my wife?" Immediately, Loki whirled the feather cloak and flew into the sky. He flew back to Asgard, and to the plain of Idavol he flew. Now Thor sat high in his home. Loki told Thor fortification of Mjolnir, and immediately he set up to Folkvanger, the home of Freya. Freya sat in her hall of Sesrumnir. Don your breathing game. Put on your finest dress, Lady Freya, for today is your wedding day, said son of Odin. Lady Freya chuffed, she snorted, she pushed, she said, I would help you, but I will not marry Thrym Jotun. The gods help each other in times of need, said Thor. She said, no. For the women in our culture are not so easily pushed around. Are they, my ladies? I will not do as I'm told. And so Freya summoned the gods to Gladsheim, the golden hall in the plain of Idavon. Odin presided on the council of gods, Heimdall at his side. Loki accompanied Thor, and Thor said, all she has to do is marry Thrym, and Mjolnir will be returned to me. Now, Thor was not the most wise of the gods, shall we say. He was a bit impulsive. He didn't think things through. He craved his weapon, his hammer, Mjolnir. Now, Heimdall, the watcher of the Bifrost, offered a suggestion. What if Thor, Odin's son, you were to dress up as Freya, put on the breathing game and fix your hair, a long flowing dress with jewels on the seams, and marry Thrym yourself. No! Shouted the thunder god. I will not be cuckold in front of these Jotunar. But Loki, with his intelligence, stepped forward. He said, if you do not do this, Thor, Odin's son, soon the Jotunar will be at our gates. They will use the Mjolnir against you. They will defeat us and crush the Aesir in our homes where we sleep. Thor knew this to be true. He did not want to agree. But Loki, son of Laufey, stepped forward and said, I will dress as you, Thor. I will be your handmaiden, and I will accompany you to Thrymheim for this wedding. Thor knew in his heart of hearts the only solution was deception. But as you all know, deception is not above the gods of Asgard. And so the maidens brought forth the breathing gamen of Freya and laid it upon his breast. They dressed his face with a beautiful veil and a long flowing dress stitched with jewels. Now Loki himself dressed as a maiden, which was not uncommon for the son of Laufey, and Thor and Loki traveled to Thrymheim across mountains and plains. As the wedding party approached, Thrym, king of the Trolls, said, "Set the benches, bring forth the furs, lay out the tables of meat and wine." The host of Jotunar brought forth the feast for the wedding. Thrym, in his excitement, failed to notice the size of his bride, which was much larger than Freya. The veil barely covered his fire-red beard, and his hair barely covered his flashing red eyes. When the feast was laid, 3 oxen put forth. Thor consumed them all. When the feast was laid, 6 salmon laid forth, and Thor consumed them all. When the feast was laid, 3 kegs of mead were laid forth, and Thor drank them all. How could such a maiden consume so much? Asked Thrym. Quick thinking, the son of Laufey, Loki, spoke. "Well, she has fasted for 8 nights in anticipation of this wedding feast." Satisfied and consumed by lust, Thrym accepted this meager explanation. Now, how about a kiss? I would love to see my lady's face. And so Thrym reached forward. He removed the veil. Thor's eyes flashed red. The Jotun jumped back the length of his hall. How could a lady have such flashing red eyes? They scare me. Quick thinking, the son of Laufey, Loki, spoke. "For the lady has not slept in 8 nights in anticipation of your wedding day." Blinded by lust, Thrym accepted this explanation, and the feast continued. Now the sister of the giant Thrym stepped forward, and in her insolence asked for a wedding gift of golden rings. But before the golden rings could be brought out, Thrym called for Mjolnir, which was well known to hallow a marriage. The great hammer was brought forward. And laid in the lap of his bride. Thor, Odin's son, smiled, for he knew his revenge was at hand. At once, he removed his veil, showing his face. Thrym could not react, for he was the first to die. The hammer struck him on the side of the head. Before the guests could even stand up, Thor stood up, spinning Mjolnir above his head. Slaying the entire wedding party. Save the sister of of Thrym, who dared ask for a wedding gift. But the gift she received was not one she wanted. With a single blow, Thor crushed her head. That is how Thor retrieved his hammer. Thank you for joining us tonight, my friends.